So I survived Hurricane Helene. It hit a lot more than I was expecting, but I've actually learned something about God through this, and I think it's a lesson that more Christians can take to heart. So make sure you stick around. We're going to cover some stuff regarding the hurricane and specifically what I was able to kind of see from God in this that we need to take as believers. So if anyone follows this channel, you're going to know my name's Jesse. I do biblical teaching. I talk about current events, things like that, and try to give a biblical perspective on things that we see going on in the world today. And I live in South Georgia and was right in the path of Hurricane Helene. I actually had the eye go immediately over the area where I live. It was a very different experience. I'm from the Midwest. We have tornadoes and things like that up there, so I'm kind of used to that. But this was much different. Now, we did have a decent amount of damage here, and we will be showing some of that here shortly. But there's a lot more damage that has been places like North Carolina, things like that. And I want to look at, as Christians, how we should respond to this and what I've seen. So we'll jump straight into it. First thing I want to show a video from an area close to where I live, and you'll see some of the stuff is blurred out for privacy reasons. I don't want to put people up on the screen that are not wanting to be put up on the screen, and also to avoid my location, some of it as well. So yeah, this first, and I will kind of be talking over this. So this is actually from a city close by, relatively close by. I mean, within an hour of where I'm at, and this is the aftermath. This was taken obviously via drone the day after Hurricane Helene came through, and it is just crazy the amount of damage that is here. There's actually a house close by where I live that the entire roof of this garage was lifted up and like shifted, and the walls of the garage fell in, and then the roof like came back down on it, and the roof's still in one piece, but the walls are caving in, and that's literally I can look out my office window when I'm working and see that house. And by the grace of God, our house was not touched. Nothing happened. We're completely safe. I have a little greenhouse actually in my backyard, and I was kind of worried that was going to go, and it didn't. It stayed. Didn't have any issues. It held. A lot of that's just because of the location and stuff that was around it that blocked a lot of the wind. But what really stuck out to me, and we're going to get to a video here. We're going to look at the video is from Brett Cooper with comment section with Brett Cooper, who is with the Daily Wire. If you're not familiar, I like a lot of stuff that she puts out. I think she has a lot of good commentary on stuff as well. But we're just going to listen to a small clip of a video that she has here. And she's going to get to a bigger point that I want to get to with this.
So Hurricane Helene first hit Florida on September 26th, so that was last Thursday, and by Friday, it was already hitting states like Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and North Carolina. But the news did not travel fast enough. People in these communities knew that they were in the path of Hurricane Helene, but they live in the mountains. They thought that it would be heavy rains and winds, but that's all. Obviously, it was not. In some areas, they received as much as 30 inches of rain, and the French Broad River that spans from Tennessee to North Carolina and feeds into the Tennessee River flooded to literally never seen before heights. It hit almost 25 feet. That has never happened before. The closest flood that could almost reach that was back in 1916, which was a complete completely different situation. Again, this was absolutely unprecedented. Towns outside of Knoxville in East Tennessee through Asheville, North Carolina, and Boone and Chimney Rock, North Carolina were completely flooded. Like, I mean, guys, we're gonna put videos up here, but full downtowns submerged underwater. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Asheville, North Carolina. I spent a lot of my childhood there. My dad's family is all from North Carolina. This is a beloved town, literally.
Yeah, with this, there are entire sections of interstate that are just gone. There are towns, and we're like 3 weeks out now, 4 weeks out, almost a month, and there are towns that still have not been reached, that people have not gotten to. Like I said, the area I live in, I was incredibly lucky. The town right next to us got hit really hard. Now, our town did get hit. There's a lot of damage that was done. But compared to some of the stuff like what we see in North Carolina, night and day difference. Night and day.
Multi-story buildings completely covered in water. Roads were washed away, leaving so many communities and neighborhoods just trapped in their homes. They literally still cannot get out because of how many roads are completely gone. And Asheville has definitely gotten the most attention because it is probably the most notable town in this region. But this destruction is also in Georgia and in Virginia and South Carolina and tiny little mountain towns outside of Asheville that nobody is talking about. And the majority of these communities are incredibly impoverished. This is Appalachia. This is coal miner country. These are not preppers. Many of them do not have sturdy homes. They don't even have insurance. And of course, they don't have flooding or hurricane insurance. And our government is failing to help them. Now, as I'm doing this episode, I want to try and not politicize this as much as possible because I really don't think that that helps anyone right now, and I often think that it just makes tragedies worse. But the main thing that I hope you take away from this entire story and what we're about to talk about next is that the government is not here to save you. They never will, and that is not a left or a right issue. The government, as it is set up now, will not be the most effective or efficient way to save lives or provide assistance in natural disasters, etc., especially today, when it seems like American citizens are our government's very last priority. Now, who will actually help Americans in crisis?
Now, before she gets to this, just a little bit, again, my experience going through this. We lost power for a little while. We actually got power back before most of the people in our town did. Our power came back fairly quickly. I think it was like right at 24 hours or just under 24 hours. We got notified that we were in an area that was FEMA declared a natural disaster, and you can file a claim, and we did. We lost some food, and so I tried to file a claim for that, and was rejected because the claim wasn't a high enough dollar amount. Which, okay, we're blessed. I'm not in a position where I'm like we're starving or anything like that. So it wasn't as big a deal. But I also know people that had damage to their house. They had a lot of food that had been lost, and they were told the same thing. The claim was not a high enough dollar amount for them to be reimbursed, or that they had to submit it through their insurance first, and they would only be helped if they got a rejection letter from their insurance and things like this. So this like floored me. Being someone like that doesn't. I never used to live in an area that had natural disasters like this. So seeing it happen, like being here in the midst of it, like I always assumed that groups like FEMA and others just came in and just gave out help. Went to an area that needed help and gave out help to people. And if they needed money to get groceries or something, they would do that. Or if they needed help getting power back on or help the linemen in the local area, things like that, they would do that. I was floored to see, and even to this day, and I've gone and we've done some helping and things like that. I have seen one person from any type of a federal level response, not necessarily government, but a high level like that. I've seen nobody from the government, no federal agents, no federal agencies. I've seen one vehicle from the American Red Cross, and that vehicle was not providing assistance. They were driving around. I saw them stop in front of a few different houses that had a lot of damage and took pictures of the house and the area surrounding the house of the damage that was there. And that was it. So there have been a lot of people helping. There's been a lot of help given in this time in this area, but it has not been from the government, at least not in my area. So
this are private entities, private organizations, companies, volunteers, neighbors, and friends who quickly mobilize, and they have certainly, in this case, hit the ground a lot faster than our government. Because within 24 hours, Samaritan's Purse, who is a well-known Christian relief organization who is actually based in Boone, North Carolina, I believe, so this hit very close to home, was set up throughout the area. Just listen to this.
Hi, I'm Edward Graham with Samaritan's Purse, and right now I'm in the parking lot of my home church, Alliance Bible Fellowship in Boone, North Carolina. And the high country of North Carolina has just been decimated by this recent hurricane. Worst flooding I've ever seen in the 45 years of my life. A lot of damaged homes. People have lost their lives here in this community. But Samaritan's Purse is responding. We're sending equipment up here, and volunteers will be going out this Monday, starting to help in this community.
And again, they moved faster than anyone, and they are in multiple states. They have literally made a makeshift hospital. They have volunteers stationed throughout the region. Another organization that responded so fast is Operation Airdrop, a group that was founded after Hurricane Harvey. They helicopter in supplies, and again, within a single day, they had flights coming into some of the most remote areas of the Blue Ridge Mountains in order to bring people food and water. The Cajun Navy does something very similar. They came in from Louisiana to do the same. I mean, people, they have no water. They have no cell service. Their loved ones have no idea if they are even alive unless they have Elon Musk's Starlink. You might be wondering, okay, Brett, well, how is that going to help people? Like, how many people in this community actually have Starlink? Well, many actually do now, because private citizens went on Amazon, they went to Home Depot and Lowe's, and they bought as many Starlink panels as humanly possible and are literally driving and hiking through the mountains to set them up for these communities. Nick Soder posted this yesterday saying, alert, Asheville, North Carolina is a total blackout zone. So we have set up 2 Starlink stations for public use. Even North Carolina State Police are not able to connect to cellular networks, so they are using our Starlinks now, which is literally just insane that our law enforcement does not even have a backup plan if there are blackouts. Now, that is obviously in North Carolina, but Robbie Starbuck, who is here in Tennessee and I just adore, he did the same thing in our state. He had men out installing Starlinks all day yesterday and the day before. He simultaneously also got together with 2 Tennessee state reps to create a drop point for food and supplies, where now thousands of people, including myself, are driving or shipping things into these communities so that they can be dispersed. I have friends in East Tennessee up in Johnson City who, again, within 24 hours, were in their trucks driving fuel up into the mountains, chainsawing through down trees to get to people's homes. My friend Olivia posted this and said, so far we have seen private individuals and companies charter helicopters, arrange supply drops, and provide network access to the storm flood victims. I love that Americans can and will mobilize regardless if they get help from the government. Completely agree. And, just for...
And again, this is something I've seen. There's been private citizens. What I've seen a lot of is churches. I've seen a lot of churches. Not every church. There's been some very not good responses from some churches. I know of one church that is kind of in an area close to some pretty severe damage, like within an hour, and they are not providing assistance because they are concerned they won't have enough money for a building fund or a building project that they have currently ongoing. That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible. That is, I don't know. I am speechless. Now, I will say, before I get to that, actually, we'll continue on. I do have an order of stuff I want to get to here. I have seen the church step up. Many churches have stepped up. Churches providing shelter for people who need it, coordinating resources to give to people. We'll talk about that more here in a minute. Providing meals for first responders and linemen, providing meals for other communities that were hit even harder than they were or we were, and even churches from other states helping. Here in South Georgia, I know of firsthand a church in Illinois, back where I'm from, that has actually taken up money to donate to my church to help with this, to help with some things that my church is doing. I'm going to go a little bit more into that here in just a minute. And then also the SBC of Alabama, I think it was, has been working to pool resources and finances and things like that to help the state of Georgia and others affected. So the church has stepped up. I've seen a lot of churches step up, a lot of people in churches step up. That is what we need to be doing. So I got posts I want to look at real quick here. I'll move myself out of the way. Today at 12, we will be grilling 800 hamburgers and 800 hot dogs at, I'm going to blur this area out. Please take time to come by and get a free meal. We would love to feed as many as possible. So that is a church in the area. A church in the area that was just hit by the hurricane, that is pooling resources enough to feed, to give out 800 hot dogs, 800 hamburgers to people who are needing it. That is, as I've heard many times throughout my life in the church, go be Jesus with skin on. That is being Jesus with skin on. That is what Jesus would be doing in this. You go meet the need so that you can meet the need. Become all things to all men so that all possible mean some might be saved. Right? That's what we should be doing. There's not enough churches that are doing it. I've seen a lot of churches do it. I've seen a lot of churches step up. And I want to kind of end this segment talking about one of the first things I saw. So we lost power. We lost cell service. Even when power came back up, we were a while without cell service. I know I have family back in Illinois still, and we weren't able to contact them, talk to them, so they had really no idea what was going on, if we were okay, any of that. And when cell service did finally come back up, we contacted family and stuff to let them know we were okay, and checked on people that we hadn't been able to get in touch with personally. And one of the first things that I noticed, I don't get on social media much anyways, but I did after this because I wanted to see if there's anything that was being passed around that I needed to know about, anything that we needed to be aware of, or changes or anything like that. And this is one of the first posts that I saw when I pulled up Facebook. This is my pastor. Name, obviously, picture will be blurred out, as well as the comments on it. As soon as they were able to, the first thing that they did, they had a generator, and they're using that generator to power their fridge and freezer, I believe, and their water heater, and a crock pot. And the reason they did those was because that way their food wouldn't go bad. But they offered anybody that needed to come by and get a shower, they can come by and get a shower. This was the day after, or the first day that they had internet. They were able to post this. They did, opening up their house for anyone that needs it. And then the next day, hot shower or warm meal. Please stop on by the house. We'll be back in about an hour, and we'll be there the rest of the evening. So come on. In the midst of this, when it would be easy to just stay at home and worry about yourself and your family, they're opening up their house for others to come and shower. They had a generator they were running to have hot water and to have a crock pot going to have a warm meal for people. And even, I work remotely. I didn't have internet for a while, and I had to use my phone as a hotspot. And we're relatively new to the church. We haven't been going for very long. We just actually officially became members this last Sunday. But they offered for me to go work at their house because they did have internet up. Now, my church also, we've already gathered some finances, resources, and we've done a meal for the linemen in the area who were working to get power back up and things like that, first responders as well. And then we took what we had and we went to that neighboring community that was hit even harder and gave out food. And we partnered with a local church there and gave out food and what we could there. And we're looking at doing that again. And we're looking at trying to maybe send a team to North Carolina help with some of what they have going on. If we end up doing that, I'm probably going to be in on that as well. But as believers, this is what we should be doing. We should be the hands and feet of Christ. We should be going out and helping people, finding needs that they have and meeting those needs. Doing whatever we can to meet the needs of the people around us. You know, there's, and I'll end it with this. There's a saying my grandpa still has. I'm sure. I haven't heard him say it in a while, but I'm sure he still does. And it was so cliche, and I didn't like it. I thought it sounded kind of stupid. But there is a lot of truth to it. And it's this. It's really simple. Okay? People won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Seems simple. Seems kind of stupid, corny, cheesy, whatever you want to say. But seeing this situation that I'm in, that I've gone through, seeing the people that are around me, it has been one of the most beautiful and moving things I have seen, to witness how the church has stepped up to meet the needs of people. Not even no hesitation. And like I said, not every church is doing this. If you are looking to help, you are looking to try to help. There are some good organizations. I would say do not give any finances, resources to a government agency, because from what I've seen, they're not actually helping. Some places they're actually making things worse. I would say find organizations. Convoy of Hope is one. They're with the Assemblies of God, but they fill up trucks and send food and things like that, or other things that people may need. So Convoy of Hope is a good one. Samaritan's Purse is a good one. There's another one. Save Our Allies is another one. They actually were originally started to help with the Afghanistan, helping get some allies of the U.S. government there out and things like that. But they have stepped up in this, and they have people that are trained as military going into places that you can't get to in North Carolina. Jumping off of from the ledge, the leg of a helicopter onto a cliff because there's no way to get to this house to check on people, to make sure people are okay. These are organizations that are good. Or find local churches in the area that are being public about what they're doing, and just contact them, message them on Facebook or their website, or call them or whatever. Get a hold of them and ask what you can do. Ask what you can do to help. If none of those work out, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, I will say you can message me on, I'm most responsive on X, but X, Instagram, any of those, message, and I can connect you with either people I know or some churches that I know that are on the ground actually doing stuff. And anything is helpful. I would say anybody can do this, is just pray. God is in control. God is going to be much more efficient in helping than we are, and he's also going to be guiding some people that are helping and doing some stuff as well. So be in prayer for everyone affected. Especially, there's still a lot of, from what I've seen, it's probably going to take years to recover in some of these areas. We're looking at probably over 1,000 people dead now. But try to find ways to be the hands and feet. Pray for people that are going in and helping. Pray for people that are in those areas. And if you're able to help in other ways, do it. This kind of ties back to an issue we talked about recently. Before we get into that, please, if you want to ask for more information, I will try to respond to comments as much as I can. So comment below. If you've seen other people that are actually helping with stuff, that are actually bringing supplies and helping people out, let us know in the comments, and I'm happy to promote anybody that's actually doing good. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. I will have a video up over here above my can't see it because of the glare, my ad at Starry Night, but talking about the fruit of love, how I think, and I think this ties in really, really well with what we're seeing here, and how we are to treat people, how we are to treat each other. So appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks. God bless.